recording now. So we'll go from wherever we are. I think, Jeanette, you're here next.
Okay, so I'm sending a picture in the chat from the midterm.
Okay.
So that's what I submitted. I got 4 out of 6 on the question. And I was just wondering, in part A, am I wrong about the iodine group? Because in the answer key, it has the iodine the other way, like equatorial.
I think, no, you're right with the iodine axial at that position. I'm just going through the pulling up the answer key for that question.
But then the other thing I was just wondering would be like, did I lose the 2 marks because I didn't show like both chairs and then like circle
come
which
on.
one?
No, the answer key is wrong.
Okay.
The answer key is wrong. Come on, seriously? Okay, this is the last time I farm out anything to students. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The answer key is wrong. I'm just looking at your answer. I'm still not sure you're right. I think you have maybe a bit too much. I think what's the value of the CH2OH? I don't think it's much bigger than CH3 plus all the others. I think you're probably better having a CH2OH axial and everything else equatorial.
Okay. That was a question on the exam where I was like, I don't know, and I couldn't find the A value anywhere. Like I searched for like 20 minutes. I couldn't find it on any chart.
So just it's probably not a lot big. So I think it was just meant to be like, come on, it's so much bigger than like it's kind of equivalent to a CH2, CH3, which is 1.75. It's in the same ballpark. So I would just look at them and go like, yeah, you know what? This is going to be bigger. Like even if you have a CH2 OTS, I'm looking at the Wikipedia website, and that's going to be bigger than OH. It's 1.75. So CH2, CH3, CH2, OH is the same, and CH3 is 1.7. So those are almost the same size. And then the other two also being axial just tips it over. So it should be all the others equatorial and not one axial.
Okay, perfect.
So that's where you would have lost the mark. But
okay, I was just wondering where I lost the marks. I didn't know if I lost it for not showing both chairs, but it's like it only said draw the most stable chair.
No, you did not lose mark for that. You got that because that one's just incorrect. Your next one, you got the full marks for that one. The next one below that, you got the full marks for that one. So you just lost the marks for the top one because you didn't draw the more stable chair and you didn't show your work.
Okay. Okay, so no problem. I was wondering. I just sent my other question. The answer key has like, I don't know if this is just like a mistake on my part, but the answer key has it kind of like the double Newman flipped the other way, so it's viewing it from like the 1 and 5 in front, and I drew it like the opposite way, but everything is still like right. So I don't know if that's just like wrong on my part or if it would still be considered right.
It's completely possible. They might have. So I'm looking at your chair flip. Your chair flip, suddenly your chlorine disappeared. What did you get?
Oh,
what grade did you get?
Oh, hold on. Let me just check. Where is it? I just got half a mark taken off.
So I think it's because you dropped your chlorine, so you didn't actually draw the other chair.
Okay. Oh yeah, I must have just forgot to draw it there.
By the way, your drawings are fantastic.
Thank you.
Is this freehand?
The chairs, there's like a thing in my notes app where I can make something a sticker. So I made it a sticker, so then I just like paste it in every time I need a chair.
Perfect. No, that absolutely that's completely fine. These are it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you.
And then there's like a trick where if you hold your pen, it like draws a straight line. So that's how I get everything like perfectly.
Yeah, no, it looks phenomenal. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's where you lost. Draw the chloride. So I'll stand by the grapes on.
Perfect. And then I'm just sending, this is the same question as Melitza. I just didn't like catch her, like get to look at it long enough to compare it to mine. So I was just wondering if you could like quickly take a look at it and tell me if I should.
Well, this is good because I probably should have recorded this. So anyone who's watching this recording, there's an error in the answer key. And this should have been caught, and I don't know why it wasn't caught. The answer I am looking at right now is an absolute full mark answer. I'm just absolutely making sure that you didn't rotate something funky and fuck up. No, it's exactly what I've drawn on my page when I'm correcting it. Yeah, that's full marks.
Okay.
So you should have received marks for that. Yeah.
Okay, and that's all my questions, so someone else can take a turn.
I guess if no one has any other questions,
yeah.
Hello. What's up? So yeah, can I share my screen because it's also stuff from my midterm. I don't know if I messed up or it's just markers. I think a lot of what I didn't get much wrong. I think the things I did get wrong though, I think it's just. Oh yeah, I'll share my screen. See if I can.
So first of all, did you guys do better on the midterm than you thought you did, or about the same, or was it scary than you thought it was going to be?
To be honest, I thought it was fair, like the midterm, to be 100% honest. Like I didn't think it was too difficult.
I agree. It was very fair. Like I was expecting a lot worse just from stories that I've heard.
Yeah, same. Like it was than I thought. Like, I got to it and I was
I think I can't say this stronger in that there's a lot, like, this is a hard course. A lot of students think that, it's like, they hear that and they're like, yeah, but it's not gonna be hard for me. I don't really need to work very hard. And then it's hard, and then they don't do well, and then they go, well, okay, it can't have been that I didn't do any studying for this. It must be that the course is unfair. And then when you hear that, because you hear that from all sorts of people, but lots of people ace the exam course. Like it's not. Lots of people do really, really well. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So we're all in agreement that isopropyl is more sterically hindered than
that's just marked wrong. The answer key is wrong. You're absolutely right. That is full marks.
Okay. Next question. This one I got 0 marks on because I said they're the same molecule and then further defined them as being a meso compound. I think because I wrote 2 answers because your question said antimer, diastereomer, meso compound or identical because I think I wrote 2 of them. They might have just marked it as 0. But aren't they both identical and mesos?
Yes. That's an absolutely perfect answer. Okay, I'm just going to take a look at the answer key on that.
The answer key just says identical and then doesn't say meso.
Yeah, it is identical and a meso compound. Yeah, that's an absolutely perfect answer.
Yeah,
you should have gotten full marks. There's nothing wrong with your answer.
Do you want me to email you about this, or are you gonna fix the answer key?
I'm gonna fix the answer key.
If you were to write mesocompound and not like, and you wrote something wrong for like same molecule, like an enantiomer, would you get half a mark, or would that be still just like a 0?
If you wrote an enantiomer and mesocompound, that's a 0. Because an enantiomer means they're not the same molecule. That's just just a 0. But identical but mesocompounds are kind of by definition identical. So it's just the question was poorly phrased and the answer was poorly written. Yay, this is fun. Okay, thanks guys. No, you're doing is absolutely right. Okay, thank you. Both of those, you're absolutely right. So please send me an email on that, Dea.
Okay.
I'm going to on because those are the two that have thrown me that I disagree with. Alyssa, you got there was that one that you had that, or was it Alyssa or Jeanette? That was the stereochemistry was wrong on the answer key, but you were still wrong. I need to look into see if that student actually corrected the answer key when they were grading. Because I stand by their mark on that question, but the answer key is wrong. So, but these two are wrong. So just send me that and I'll correct it.
Okay. Let's see which one is this one. Oh, I lost 0.2, and I don't know how that's mathematically possible. There's only 6 possible options. I mean, not try to haggle for 0.2. I just don't know where I lost 0.2 from.
I think I don't really know either. I'm now doing the math in my head on what that would be. You noted it was impossible, and I agree. I think I accepted 0 as, I told them to accept 0 as a full mark answer, or +1. No, wait a second.
I know I had emailed you about that, like saying this is impossible, like what do you want us to do? And I know you sent like an email saying treat it as if there was just 3 hydrogens. Yeah.
Yeah, but because it is what it is, and I'm not sure everyone saw that, so I'd accept the. There's something wrong with the math there, but
because the answer key is identical to what I have, save for whatever's happening here. Because
I'm trying to work up with the math there, because I'm currently having a problem. I'm getting an answer and I'm agreeing with you, and I'm going, that's just not right. So maybe it's because this is impossible. Because it was NH3, if that was an NH3 there with no lone pair, we'd say that's +1. And we wouldn't argue about that. That would be easy. Now you have an NH4 with no lone pair, but you actually kind of compensate because now it's 5 minus 1/2 of 10. Yeah, it doesn't become +2, it becomes 0. Your answer is right.
So do you want me to also email you about this one too?
You know what? I'm doing this in real time right now on this. Yeah, email me about that too.
Okay. Because I'm just trying to. I think these are all the mistakes. I only made mistakes on 4 questions. I just want to go through them because I think also for question.
So at this point, I don't think you've actually made mistakes. I think you're actually right and the answer key is wrong. Just looking for that one.
This would be question 10.
Yeah, I just need to find that. Okay, that's corrected. And then, yeah, and the last question, which is just, I just.
And then one last question here. I lost 2 marks. I think I know where, because this is actually just, it's an iodine on like an ethyl, but I drew it as a methyl.
That's why. Yeah, and that's going to fuck with your, yeah, that's why you lost it. And that probably actually affects your answer.
I don't think it would, though, because you'd still have
it. Can you just scroll out so I can actually see your entire, see the question again? Because I can't see the question.
It would still end up being axial. If anything, would make it even less sterically hindered than my answer.
Yeah, I think it's just because you missed the methyl group, and I think that's, yeah, no, it would be even better. It is the most stable. It's even more stable. I think.
How many marks? For getting to draw 1 extra line, because the idea was right, I think.
You know what? I feel really, really sympathetic to you right now, if you're staying with the 50%, but you're not. If this is the only one you're missing, it did say draw the most stable chairs. And so how many marks did you lose?
I lost the full 2 marks for the question.
It's only worth 2 marks? You lost everything?
Well, no, it was worth 6, but there's 3 of them, so I'm assuming each one's worth 2.
Okay, and the other ones you have are correct, right?
Yeah, according to your answer key. I mean, you can look at them.
Yeah, that's really harsh. That is really harsh. I agree with you. Losing 2 marks for missing 1 line is insane. And it doesn't affect your overall answer. You didn't make the question easier on yourself.
I would have got the same conclusion regardless. It's just.
No, I agree with you. I think email that to me. I'm going to give you +1.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree. That losing everything for that is really harsh. I am going to say, okay, look, it is kind of relevant, so you're not getting full marks, but
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but losing everything is ridiculously harsh. I completely agree with you.
Right. I think those are all the mistakes I had on the midterm.
Congratulations.
To be honest, I think what you taught in class and what you covered in like the recorded live lectures was enough to do the midterm. Like I never actually used Khan Academy or whatever, like other than your.
No, it is enough. Exactly. Yes, it is enough. It's just, I am going to say that the way I explain stuff is not going to work for everybody. And I know that. And that's why I try and do it several different ways and why I recommend using other tools. But yeah, no, absolutely. If you can understand what I'm saying, then yeah, it's absolutely enough. That you don't need to use anything else. And the assignments are good practice, like there. Okay, who's next?
I just had one last question. Based on the one that Dea just posted, I just sent it in the chat. I know I messed up a few times, but I didn't think I should lose 4 marks out of the 6. So I got 2 out of 6.
Let me zoom in on this then. Sorry, I'm just gonna have to. There's the zoom button.
And also, were we supposed to draw the least stable as well? Because I thought we were only supposed to draw.
Question 7, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Let me just see exactly how the question was phrased. I don't have the phrasing of the question.
It says draw the following molecules in their most stable chair conformations.
Then you're only supposed to draw them in their most stable chair conformation.
Okay. I don't know. I lost 4 marks and I'm like, okay, I know I messed up a few times. I did the exact same thing that Dea did. I forgot the methyl group on the iodine. And then I think I messed up on the first one a little bit, but I don't know. It didn't seem like I should have lost 4 marks.
I don't actually see any mistake on the first one. I agree with your answer on that one.
I just like rotate.
Yeah, draw these in the most. Yeah, no, but you can rotate. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, that one should be right. And then.
And
Yeah,
so everything equatorial. You actually drew exactly what is the answer key. You drew the answer key. So you got full marks on that one. The second one, the first one. The second one, you actually drew the enantiomer. And you dropped the CH3, but you drew the enantiomer of the molecule.
Right?
Which isn't the molecule.
I see.
So losing everything for that. Well, you probably losing some for that, losing some for the CH2I. I'm going to stand by the GA on that one. Let's go down to your bottom one.
So you're standing by the 2 marks lost for the second one?
Yeah, I will. Just because then my my GAs are all, and so I'm going to take a look at your bottom one. Okay, so you've drawn the carbonyl up or when it should be equatorial, but I think you made the question harder, not easier. You answered it right within that harder thing. I don't stand by you losing all your marks there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a half mark. So email this to me. I'm going to add half mark back for B, and I'm going to add a mark back for C.
Okay. Yeah, just B, like, I feel like everything was correct, as in being like equatorial and axial. I just drew it backwards.
Oh, and that matters. I am going to say it matters. You also dropped that methyl group, which just I don't quite understand why that seems to be a common issue. But I am going to give you a mark and a half back on this because I think that's harsh.
Okay, thank you.
Days were mean. Okay. Yes. So Ketsia, yeah, I am going to go through and they are going to have to remark these and they're going to bitch, but I'm going to say they should have caught this. So Jeanette, you just posted something.
Yeah, so I was looking through my exam again to see if I had any last questions. This one, I got just 1 mark taken off, not really a big deal, but I was just wondering like why it's like this. I'm gonna send the answer key picture as well. But the answer key has like the 2 like not the one on the left, but like the next 2 closest to the left flipped.
Yeah, and I think it says I think I actually said it's okay to flip those.
Because I read like in the
I like your answer more, and
more
reality is wrong, and I don't like that reality is wrong. I think your answer is like the more correct answer. Okay. And so I don't. So it was out of 7. So you got 6 out of 7.
Yeah.
The only reason I might say you might lose a little bit of a mark here, where I would actually stand by the justification, and maybe the order is not where you lost the mark. So your second molecule there, highest boiling point because ionic interaction is very strong, absolutely. Second one says high boiling point because OH group makes H bonding possible, and ketone makes dipole-dipole interactions possible. Is that a ketone?
No.
No. So I'm going to say they might have read that one. Oh, come on. You meant carbonyl maybe instead of ketone?
Yeah, I think that's.
I think that's where I can stand by this not being a perfect justification. I think, like, we think you know what you're saying, but we're not 100% sure. And the final one on the left there, is that a ketone?
No.
What is it?
Aldehyde.
Aldehyde. Because it's a carbonyl on the end of the molecule. ketone has 2 carbons bonded to the carbon. So I think you actually got some. So I'll stand by that for the justification because it's not a ketone in either of those cases.
Yeah, that.
So it's not an absolutely perfect justification. I don't think you lost marks because of the order, because we said you could flip the order because it's it was just it was meant to have an extra carbon on one of those and it didn't, and so it was meant to be clearer. But I think that question's really hard. That was an unfair question, I think.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Today I am this close to throwing out the entire midterm. I'm just saying, fuck it, make it disappear. But I can't, because otherwise, what I'm going to say basically is if you do better on the final, then you're going to do better on the final. You know what? No, we're remarking it. GAs have to do a better job. Sorry.
No problem. I was just, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I'm not like fishing for marks. I was just
no, that's fine. So I do stand by that grading on that one. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
But you know what? I think we're probably finding all the mistakes because you guys are coming with them. So it's not that bad, but still I'm used to not having any mistakes in my answer key, and I have mistakes in my answer key, and that's upsetting. Okay, and then there's another one with a mistake in the answer key that I have to go correct. Okay, who's next? Or Ketsia, if you have something. Not if it's those specific questions that we were just discussing. So if your question was about that Ketsia thing, then that's fine. Guntas, if you're playing the meso compound on that specific question, that's fine.
Can I ask another midterm question?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen.
So just while Megan, I'll just answer Megan. I'm curious why there isn't a negative charge on chapter 2 for part T, on CH2 for part B. There absolutely should be a negative charge for that. Was there? Did you put a negative charge on it in your answer key there, or in your answer, Megan? If you did, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. Of course, it's got a negative charge on that. Okay, I'm going to basically ask everyone to hold off and sending me emails about this while we remark some of these questions, because this isn't grade grubbing or anything. This is completely legitimate. The answer key is fucking wrong, and I'm losing marks unfairly, and you're all absolutely right about that. Okay, go on, Melissa.
Okay. For this question, I lost 0.25, but my thing looks exactly like the answer key. But I don't know, maybe I'm just missing something. It's question number 8. So I like on the answer key, it says where the points are being given. So like for indicating major contributor and then the arrows. But do you see anything wrong?
Sorry, I'm just gonna. Can you zoom in?
Yeah, which one, A or B?
Just a little bit on A first. I just can't make out everything that you've drawn. Okay, so you've justified things. You even ranked them, which wasn't necessary. You've drawn the right resonance hybrid. That's a full mark answer. Okay, can you zoom down to B?
Okay.
How much did you lose on this question?
0.25.
So the one thing I am going to pick maybe and say I kind of agree is So you have a big ass delta negative. So on B on your resonance hybrid, you got a big ass delta negative on the O. I completely agree. You drew. So we didn't draw the first resonance structure you drew with the positive to carbon. That's fine. Nothing wrong with you drawing it. It's absolutely correct. Where I have a beef with you is in your resonance hybrid. The delta positive on the oxygen and the delta positive on that carbon are identical in size. And actually, if we zoom down your resonance hybrid, if you want to zoom in further.
Here you go.
Okay. I'd argue, yeah, they're about the same size, and I'd argue that the delta positive on the oxygen needs to be bigger than the one on the carbon, because the more the positive charge will be on the oxygen than the carbon, because it's going to be that sort of 6 electron positive charge versus a 8 electron positive charge versus a 6 electron positive charge. So if we're going to put in the delta positives on both of those, which you can completely do, and it's fine, the one on the oxygen needs to be bigger. And so you lost kind of 0.25 on that.
Okay. Okay. I was just wondering, even though I rank them, because I think what I did was I just thought that this S was bigger than this one, but I understand what you're saying.
It's hard to see, I think. No, I kind of agree with you. When you zoom in, I agree that that S on the oxygen is bigger than the one on the carbon. With my little eye calipers, I can tell, and I agree with you. And they're both a lot smaller than the S's on the negatives. Send it to me. I'm going to give you the 0.25 back.
Okay, that's the last question I had. Thank you for
No, I agree with you.
this.
You're right on that. Okay, Megan, that's just a mistake on the marking key. Again, you're going to get the marks back. How many emails do I have on this so far? I'm actually scared to open my email. Oh, it's not bad at all.
So do you want us to email you, or do you want us to open?
If I've asked you to email me, it's because you know what? If it's on anyone where I said, hey, the marking scheme is wrong, don't bother. Maybe hold off. This is recorded, so you actually have like a recording of me saying, hey, you're going to get the mark back for this. That just when it's like we're arguing a little bit like this one. So, you know, we just had Melissa just brought up a question and I said, okay, I see where you're coming from. I'm not going to change the marking scheme on it. I'm happy with the marking scheme. It's just I agree that her answer is okay. And so I don't think she should have had 0.25 off. So like that's not going to be a change in the marking scheme. If it was any other more I said, hey, this is wrong, please don't email me. I'm going to make an announcement that the GAs are going to correct these and then we'll get back to you guys.
Let's like hold off emailing on the meso, just email about like the iodine one.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, come on. Okay. Anything else? Okay, if there's nothing else, I am going to. Yeah. Of course, Kit. Yes, of course, Kits. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay, I'll paste them in the chat. I noticed some of them you did like last week, but I tried to find the recording and I didn't see it, so
I might not have posted.
Ask again.
Yeah, I might not have posted office hours.
This is the first one. I was just wondering if you could just go through the kind of like all the steps to get the mechanism. I know that it's B, but I was just wondering if we could just go through it to how you get that answer.
Okay, so I think we don't necessarily need to do a mechanism here. What we need to do, so if everyone can just who's watching this can join in, what we need to do is we need to take a look at what the different conditions are going to give us and identify what we're doing. So it's always a good idea to sort of go, okay, so what's changing, right? The difference is that we now have a new CH3 attached to the carbon, and we have an OH. So the carbonyl became an OH, and we had a CH3 attached. Are we good with that as a discussion on what happened?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to look through the different options and go, okay, what do these do? So A is an oxidation. We talked about this briefly. We're actually going to, in the lectures on eliminations, actually, we come back and we talk about the mechanism of this, like in my online lectures, about the mechanism of how this works, because it's an E2 elimination, basically. And that would oxidize a carboxylic acid or an alcohol to a carboxylic acid or an alcohol to a ketone, depending. But there is no alcohol, and we're not oxidizing. So it's not A. B is the kind of controlled, more controlled oxidation that'll give us a an aldehyde or ketone and won't go to full into the acid, and that's not what's happening either. E is addition of H minus. It's a reduction, but we didn't add H minus. We added CH3. And D is also a reduction to add H minus, and we didn't add H minus, we added CH3. So B is going to add, it's a Grignard, so it adds CH3 minus, and that's what we see. And then you protonate, so you'd have the O minus, but then you put the H plus on from step 2 with the H3O plus. So B is the only one that will add a methyl group. The other ones won't do that. So they can all be kind of ruled out, leaving B alone. For the mechanism, I would take a look back for when we did the problems on here, because it's identical to any other addition to a ketone.
Oh.
So
Those are actually the next ones that Megan just posted. Those are part of the other two that I have. So
okay, so yeah, so this one's a bit tricky. So there's two versions of this question. So let's do the first. So people got one of two versions of this one. This one, you have a CF3, a very strong inducing group, directly attached to the double bond. So if you're going to make a carbocation, which is what you're going to do in the first step, you can either put it at a tertiary center or a secondary center, but the tertiary center has a ridiculously strong inducing electron drawing induction group on it, which is going to make it less stable. Because as we said, hyperconjugation and induction are always in balance, but hyperconjugation generally wins, except when induction is directly on the center, and it's directly on the center here. So you're going to make the secondary carbocation instead. It's going to be much more stable. And so A is the correct answer, because you're going to add the H to the center that has the CF3 already, which is going to make the carbocation on the other center, and the Br minus is going to come in there. So you're going to get A rather than getting the other possible answer is C. D and B both add 2 bromines, and this mechanism doesn't add 2 bromines. The second question relies on the fact of recognizing that you're going to have a resonance stabilized carbocation if you put the carbocation on the carbon adjacent to the oxygen, because you can kind of make the carbonyl. You're going to make an oxygen-carbon double bond. The oxygen is going to be positive, but it's going to be one of those 8-electron positive oxygens. So it's very stable to put the positive charge adjacent to the carbon on the oxygen, which will then bring the Br minus in on the other carbon. Sorry, on that carbon. So the Br and the oxygen are going to end up on the same carbon. And so the answer to that is D. A and C again have 2 bromines, those are just wrong. B makes the wrong carbocation. Does that help?
yeah, sorry. The second one there was different from mine, so I was a little confused, but I was able to apply what you said to mine, so it worked out.
Okay. Guntas, you said you had a similar question to, I guess, Kitsia's question. Am I pronouncing that right? Ketsia?
It's actually Kezia, but
Kezia.
it's okay.
Okay, Kezia. So Guntas, Kezia's question, similar, mine was an ester, so I put lithium aluminum hydride and got it wrong. Isn't this reagent the only one that attacks an ester? Yeah, lithium aluminum hydride, if you had an ester reducing, if it wasn't an acid, if it was an ester and you were reducing it to, fully reducing it down to an alcohol, and there were no methyl groups added, then that should have been right. And I don't think there's a mistake in the key. So are you sure it wasn't adding methyl groups?
I can share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. It was this question right here, and I
Right.
think
Notice that
the
there's
methyl
two
group-
methyl groups.
Yeah.
They're not hydrogens.
Okay.
So lithium aluminum, if those two carbon that added were H's and not CH3s, lithium aluminum hydride would be right. But the Grignard can add to the ester as twice. You add two methyl groups.
Oh, okay.
Did
All
that.
right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have to go, but thank you, Dr. Tramp, for looking over these.
No, thank you guys. You're absolutely right. I really appreciate your patience with this, because to me this is just, yeah, this is you know what, maybe this is just the worst term for all of us. This is the worst I've ever had for a midterm, being having incorrect things. I promise it's not going to happen on the final, but yeah, we'll correct this. How many, so Guntas, how many question marks would you lose if you'd probably lose, like, it asks you to draw the Newman projection and draw the other thing. Converting it to the Newman projection is probably worth 2, and then drawing into most stable form is probably worth 2, so you probably lose, between 1 or 2. I probably gave it too many marks. Probably shouldn't have been worth 4 plus 2. Should have been just worth 2. So probably 2 marks. And I know it's not really curiosity. It's definitely maybe 1 mark. I'm going to think on that and update that. Yeah. It still is a valid question and relatively straightforward. Megan and Dea, your hands are up. I'm not sure if they should be up or they've just been up the entire time and you got your questions answered.
I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
Regarding the assignment. I didn't get this question, but someone else told me they got it. It was like, you have like methyl lithium, and then you have like a ester, like a ketone, and it's like an alcohol group, and it's like you have one equivalent. Would the answer be nothing actually just happens?
Yeah, because the alcohol, you can't make a ring. The alcohol would deprotonate.
Yep.
And then it would with one equivalent. So the only thing the methyl lithium would do would be react with the alcohol, because we did an example like this in class.
Yeah.
And then it's O minus and it can't do anything. Then you add the acidic workup and you put the proton back on. So nothing happens. So it did an acid-base reaction and you reverse the acid-base reaction. So it's a non-productive acid-base reaction. So
would organolithiums and Grignard reagents always react with oxygen, the alcohol groups, if available, first?
Yeah, I think we discussed that. Yeah, acid-base reactions are the fastest reactions. So they'll react with carboxylic acids, they'll react with alcohols.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, because someone asked me about that yesterday. I actually didn't know off the top of my head what the answer was.
Yeah, acid-base reactions are always the fastest reactions.
All right, that sounds.
And I think I've said that a lot of times.
Oh yeah, you have. It's just I wanted to double check.
Yeah, I'll keep saying it.
All right, that's all I had. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Megan.
I had a question for one of the midterm questions.
Yeah.
I was looking at the like the one you posted. So I did the correct chair confirmation for one of the questions. I just forgot to add fluorine. So it looks like one of the wedges was a methyl group when there was actually supposed to be a fluorine there.
How many marks did you lose?
The 2 points, like the full 2
Yeah,
points.
that I think the grader was ridiculously harsh on that. They were consistent, and they were consistently harsh. Does it change the answer? Can you share your screen, Megan? I want to see if it changes the answer.
Yeah, let me look for it. I actually have a screenshot. Is that okay?
Yeah, I don't care. Okay, so I'm just checking that. Okay. And one of those should have been a fluorine, right?
Yeah, I'm just sending the actual question.
You lost everything. Yeah, it's too harsh. Email me about that. You're gonna get +1.
Okay, thank you.
No, that's it. Doesn't change. I always look at these and see if you make the question easier for yourself by miscopying it. I can't assume good faith, but you're not making the question easier for yourself by miscopying it. It's just a stupid mistake, and you shouldn't have lost 2 marks.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Megan. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you're welcome, kids. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, I apologize for this. Oh, fuck. Okay, thank you. See you guys later then.